Yeah, another busy week. Wednesday, a little bit different schedule. Wednesday we played out a conference game, went over to A&T, and I thought we played really well. I came out of the chute of that game and shot the ball really well, got a lead in a place that can be tough to win if you let them get their momentum going. But we did a good job of kind of taking them out of the game early and played pretty strong. We had a little bit of a letdown in the start of the second half. They made a little bit of a run at us, but we were able to push that one out and just thought we got back to playing good 49er basketball, moving the ball. We had something like 24 assists on 32 made baskets, and that's the way we like to play. Obviously, we had a couple days to prepare for Old Dominion. Lost a really tough one on Saturday. Really, had a struggle in the first half scoring the ball. We didn't play 49er basketball in the first half. The ball kind of stuck. Obviously, Old Dominion's a good defensive team, which, they take pride in. We just didn't do a good job of moving the basketball, and we're down 10. Fortunate to be down 10 at the end of the first half, and just kind of kept digging our way back to eventually taking a 3-point lead at the end of that game. And then Trey Freeman, who was unbelievable all night, raised up. It was great defense. I've watched it a million times. Andrian, I don't know, you could have played him any better than he did. He was there. He contested with high hands, and the guy just drained it. And we kind of struggled after that to get any momentum going in overtime. But like I said, we're continuing to move forward. I feel like we're playing good basketball night in, night out. We're giving ourselves opportunities to win games, and now it's, particularly against the better teams, it comes down to learning how to close. The other night we just lost to a good team who had a great player who had a great night. So we got to get ready now. We're preparing. Got 2 games again at home. So hopefully we'll play well against Rice, North Texas, and give ourselves chances to win those games. Well, I think we just got to keep doing what we're doing. We've been playing good basketball. We didn't play well in the one loss against FAU. That's probably our worst game we've played probably in 2 weeks. We just didn't play well that game. I thought we did play well against Old Dominion in the second half. But they had a great player who had a great night, and we weren't able to get over on top of that. But these are games against 2 teams that will be kind of evenly matched against, to be honest with, in Rice and North Texas. They both won 2 out of their last 3 games. They're coming in, they're playing better. They're kind of like us, trying to, playing a lot of young guys, trying to develop, something for the future. And so, it should be 2 games where if we go in and play well, we'll have opportunities to win. But, if we don't play well, we can lose as well. Oh, you're exactly right. And there's a lot of teams that are 1 game, 2 games separating each other right now. So, a lot of these head-to-head matchups with teams that have similar records in the league are important. And particularly right now, it's important to try to close out and play well at home. It's important to try to win your home games and then hopefully go out on the road and see if you can't steal 1 or 2. Well, I think, like you said, I think it just comes down to watching, what things went well, what things don't go well. You try to make adjustments going into the second game whenever you're playing, because you're familiar with them, they're familiar with you. There's not that much turnaround time, so it basically comes about, little tweaks here and there of things that maybe they hurt you. Maybe you can make some adjustments. They're trying to do the same thing, and so you have to be able to a little bit make adjustments a little bit more on the fly as the game's going to kind of see what they're going to do differently than they did when you played them the first time. Well, I think we've definitely earned the respect of the teams in the league. I think it goes to, even the Florida Atlantic game. I mean, that was a big game for them because we'd been playing so well, and they were fired up and jacked up. And I mean, if you'd have heard the Old Dominion locker room after the game the other night, you'd have thought they'd have beaten the national champion in there. They were so happy. I think people know that when they come in this building, it's gonna be a hard-fought 40-minute game. That's the way we play. We don't always play great, but we play with effort, we play with enthusiasm, and our guys compete. And I think we've earned that respect. I think teams now, when we come in, and it's another area where our team as a young team has to grow to raise it to another level, because, early on in the season we might have snuck up on somebody just because of our record or losses that we'd had. But having gone through the conference now, word spreads quickly, and I mean, every coach I run into, comments that how much we've improved and grown as a team. So, you know, we've earned that respect, and now we got to, you know, raise our level, because we're going to start getting people's A game when we show up, because they know they have to play well to beat us. Well, I mean, if you really look at the numbers statistically and everything else, the Rice game, I mean, it's almost like mirror images from how much they score, you know, 79-80, we're 79-80, giving up the same, you know. Both teams have struggled defensively this year, but have been able to put points on the board. So, you know, I think it's going to be a, you know, fun game. I think, you know, it's, like I said, it's going to be a matchup of two pretty evenly matched teams, not only record-wise, but just the way we play and the type of game it is. North Texas, they're a little bit different in that they're a little bit bigger team. They're another team that will have to be able to combat their size compared to the lineups that we play. So there'll be two kind of totally different games in style, I think. But like I said, you know, they're going to be games with, you know, they see them as important to win for where they want to get to, and obviously we see them as important to where we want to get to in the conference and our standing heading into to the tournament. Well, I was just told them that we weren't playing our basketball. That, you know, I was first of all really proud of our defensive effort in the first half. I mean, you hold a team to 27 points and you think you're going to be in good shape, and we were down 10, having held them to 27. So, you know, I said just keep playing defense like we're doing, but now let's just play loose. It just seemed like for some reason we were a little uptight at the beginning of that game, and just the ball was sticking, it wasn't moving like we normally, and I thought our guys came out and they just kind of let loose and played in the second half, and it made a big difference. Well, it's you know, it's a little bit of everything. I think you can look at things we did in the game, or maybe some things we could do differently, but I think ultimately it's just an experiential thing. We got a young team who's got to learn. You know, the more of those games that we play in, the more their confidence is going to grow. And you know, like the other night, I felt like we did a great job coming down the stretch. I mean, we were down the whole game, you know. It would be 10-8, 6 points in the second half, and you know, we were able to take the lead in that game. And then it basically came down to a guy hitting a great shot to send it into overtime. So, you know, I feel like our guys are getting more confident in those situations. Sometimes you need a break or two to go your way, and it didn't happen for us the other night. But we're just going to keep plugging at it, and like you said, keep going. And the more close games you play in, the more experience that your guys get, the more comfortable they're going to be in those situations. And that's, I think, ultimately, I mean, there's some game planning and there's some other things you can teach, but ultimately it comes down to experience. And the other night, Old Dominion had the ball in a senior's hands, and you know, we had one in a freshman's hands at the end. So it's and you can say, well, this and that, but that's a lot. You know, a guy that's been through the wars versus a guy that's learning, you know, as he goes every game. So that's just where we're at right now. We can't do anything with our roster makeup, but play the games and learn, grow, and you know, from that standpoint, I've been really pleased at our progress. You know, I've said it before, you know, it's for people that just look at win-loss records. I mean, you know, that's the way some people value and judge things. But for this year, for us, it's a lot more than that. It's about how we're playing, how we're growing as a team, how we're competing. And I feel like we've made great strides, and we're going to continue to try to keep moving forward these last 8 games. Oh, shoot. I mean, every night. Every night. I mean, I can't imagine not having Joe this year, how much tougher it would be. I mean, he's really taken the rebounding and defensive end of the floor, and even scoring for us. I mean, in conference play, he's given us 16 a game. So, I mean, it's just, you can't understate what his value's been to our program this year, and helping us establish you know, a foundation for the way that we want to play, and him being surrounded by such inexperience and youth, and how he has not allowed that to frustrate him, but he's really taken that on as a mantle to really help these guys and as they grow through the process. And it's been amazing, really. I mean, I've been around basketball a long time, and you know, an experienced guy that gets surrounded, you know, it can easily be frustrating to watch young guys make mistakes, and yet he's nothing but positive with our guys and talks to them all the time, and just goes out and just does his work every night. And you know, as a coach, I go home every night, you know, feeling, you know, thankful that Joseph is a part of what we're doing here.